The following Best of Central Florida program is sponsored in part by Fortress Wealth Group, the Injury Assistance Law Firm, Nelson Financial Planning, 401 Carat, Oxford Advisory Group, and Sophila Radio and Television Productions.
Welcome to the Best of Central Florida. We are certainly living in some uncertain financial times. That's why today we're going to visit the best financial planners in all of Central Florida. We will do so with my beautiful co-host, Makaila Nichols, as always. Hello, Makaila. How are you?
Great.
Your dad is pretty aggressive when it comes to you saving. What age did you start saving?
Well, way to call me out.
I was really calling out your father.
I started saving when I was a little girl, so.
And saving is very important. As you know, the earlier we start saving, the more money we're going to have when it comes time for retirement. That being said, a lot of us have seen our accounts go down, our investment accounts being wiped out. There's never been a more important time than right now to choose that right financial planner. And Makaila, we got some good ones today.
We do. It's really important to pick the right one.
It very much so is. They really are like life coaches and financial planners at the same time. Are you ready?
I am.
Here's what we're going to do. Very quick break. When we return, the best financial planners in all of Central Florida.
The following Best of Central Florida Makaila's Choice is sponsored in part by Fortress Wealth Group, the Injury Assistance Law Firm, and Sophila Radio and Television Productions.
So this has to be one of my favorite episodes because when you talk about money, you really have to know where to put it, who to trust your money with. So Makaila's choice for best financial planner are my dear friends over at Fortress Wealth Group. I am joined by John Ludford, the CEO. Happy to have you here.
Thank you so much. Great to be here with both of you.
So, we were talking a little bit before about the family kind of office, the holistic advice. Let's start there because I think people can talk straight about money, but you offer advice too.
Sure, absolutely. Well, if you and I were super rich, uber rich, right? We typically would not have a financial planner, a stockbroker, an insurance agent, et cetera, et cetera. We wouldn't have 9 or 10 people we interface with. We'd have a family office is what it's called. We have one guy, we have a quarterback, we contact that one guy or gal, and they manage everything for us. When we launched Fortress, we also launched Fortress Family Office, and the entire idea behind Fortress Wealth is that we can create comprehensive, holistic advice and service so that we're interfacing on behalf of our clients to create two things. Number one, efficiency, but also buying power. When I come to an accountant, when I come to an insurance agent, when I come to an investment opportunity, I come with several $100 million of buying power. Changes the game for us and for our clients.
When you're talking about that much money, several, millions and what have you, taxes, that's another thing y'all specialize in because, if you're coming with that much money, you got to pay taxes. So how do you help people with that?
So we're very tax forward. We're one of the few firms actually in Central Florida. So to create a little bit of understanding, there are only 13 non-affiliated SEC registered investment advisors in Central Florida, Tri-County area. We're one of only 13. Wow. And with that, there are very few that actually provide family office services. In fact, there's only 3. And there's very few, there's only 2 that actually are tax forward in their strategy. Tax is the number one expense most of us have. It's our largest bill, whether we want to believe it or admit it, it is. And so we believe that, and we know, and we've demonstrated and proven that by working with someone intimately, whether it's related to their structure, which could be legal or other, related to how they're receiving their income, whether they're investing in tax benefiting type investments, we can reduce pretty much anyone's tax liability from 30 to 50%. Wow. Those are real numbers, and we've done it over and over and over.
This is real money.
This is real money.
And when you start saving that money yearly, how does that change your retirement?
Yeah, absolutely. It changes everything because suddenly, if you're working with someone who's trying to figure out how do you put the pieces of the puzzle together to make everything work, we all have dreams, goals, and desires, right? And so all of them cost money.
Yeah.
And so when you're talking about how to put the pieces together, if you can start with saving, and then take the savings then to kind of infuse, gasoline into the financial plan, you can do dramatic things to transform people's lives, very, very quickly.
No kidding. So tell me who your perfect client is.
So our perfect client, ideally we work with really two specific demographics. It's business owners, entrepreneurs, and then executives. That's predominantly who we spend most of our time with. And our really ideal client is anyone out there who has an impending sale or an impending what we call a liquidity event. So that could be a sale of a business, sale of real estate, or retirement. Those people that are moving towards something like that or have recently experienced something like that are our ideal client. Reason is, it's a different skill set to manage money than to manage a business.
Right.
It's completely different, okay? And I might not be great at managing, a plumbing contractor, but I sure know how to manage their money once they sell that plumbing contracting business. And so those folks are ideal for us because they if they're selling something and they have substantial assets, they can take advantage of all the services that we provide. And we can, again, when we lead with significant savings on the tax side, we can do a lot of super cool things for them, including reinvesting in the local community, which is a big part of what Fortress is all about.
Yeah, talking a little bit about community, you grew up in the Central Florida area. What does the community mean to you?
Yeah, so this is my town. This is Orlando's, where I grew up. It's my backyard. It's where I live. We have the opportunity theoretically to live anywhere we want, and I've traveled a ton. My wife and I, every time we're on the plane coming back to Orlando, we're grateful and glad to be here because this is where we are, where our home is, where our community is. So we're very, very involved in reinvesting in the community. We do that through a number of charitable companies that we're involved in. But we also do that through our investments. We invest in private capital. The restaurant you go to for dinner tonight might be a company that we have an interest in. And so we help our clients actually reinvest in the local community to continue to create meaningful impact.
Amazing.
Love what you're doing over at Fortress Wealth Group.
I'm blown away.
I know. Just like I love it. Well, do yourself a favor and give John a call, and we'll be right back with People's Choice after this short break.
Here we are with personal injury attorney Michael Mills. But Michael, you're way more than an attorney. You've been able to bridge the gap between doctor, lawyer, and consumer with your Injury Assistance Network, or IAN as it's known. Tell me about it.
Well, what it is basically it's a online personal injury network of providers, both medical and service, and it just helps personal injury attorneys and the general public find quality healthcare providers and service providers to take care of them when they've been injured in an accident.
Because the medical part of it is a huge piece in getting these clients recovered. You're a great personal injury attorney, though, as well. A lot of advertisement for PI guys out there. What separates you?
22 years.
Yeah.
My first 6 years, I did work for the insurance companies. I worked at one of the largest insurance defense firms in Florida. And then for the last 16 years, I've been representing the actual injured victims as well as some of the providers as well doing PIP work. Okay. So I'm able to take that, what I learned, and bring it to the plaintiff side. Excellent, man.
Keep up the wonderful work. And whether you're a doctor, whether you're a lawyer, or a consumer who's been injured in an accident, call Michael Mills today. He's over on the good guy side, I would say, right?
Yes, absolutely.
What side did you like better?
This side, definitely.
Yeah.
I've come to the light.
Exactly. I'm glad you did. Michael Mills, the Injury Assistance Law Firm. Give him a call today if you've been injured in an accident. But again, if you're a doctor or a lawyer, you need help finding help in that regard, call Michael Mills.
The following Best of Central Florida People's Choice is sponsored in part by Nelson Financial Planning, 401 Carat, and Sophila Radio and Television Productions.
You have spoken, the people have spoken, and now for the second time on this program, People's Choice for Best Financial Planner goes to our good buddy, Joel Garris. Joel, welcome back.
Awesome.
How are you,
Great
man?
to be back.
All over the radio, 3 different stations doing your radio show, helping people's financial freedom. But last time you were here, you and I talked, it was during the pandemic, about all these Robin Hood sort of day traders, and we both said, makes me a little bit nervous. Everyone thinks they're making so much money now. We're gonna have to pay the piper at some point, and things have changed a little bit. What are you seeing out there right now?
Dramatically so. If you look at some of the trading patterns on some of those platforms, the volume has gone down tremendously, and that's just the reality of when it's hard to make money when the market goes down, and so people are reacting to that.
You make sure that people retire with enough money to comfortably retire on. what age should I really start calling you and say, I'm really worried about my retirement. I want to be able to have a decent life once I retire. What age does that begin?
As soon as possible, as soon as you have that first job, because the sooner you wind up getting a investment account started, then you wind up ultimately getting the power of time and compounding. So certainly that is something that you want to start as soon as you get that first job.
A lot of times now people are seeing their investment accounts go down a little bit, up, down. It's been volatile. At best, it's been volatile.
Yeah, that's a kind word to say.
Yeah, and you do financial planning, of course, but you're also a financial coach. You're really a coach when it comes to people and their money. You love that part of your job.
Yeah, no, that certainly is what makes it unique, because at the end of the day, one of the things that makes us unique as a firm is that we don't have any account minimums. So we're able to really help people get started on that path to financial freedom. And so we've been able, with the longevity that we have, to see folks that start with us with $100 a month, just starting out, and add 30 years, and now they're retiring successfully.
And
so
compound interest.
It's a great to see that journey.
Let's say that I don't have an advisor now, or I do have, and I'm ready to make a change. How does that process work with you once I step into your office?
Yeah, so it's just a conversation. I mean, we always believe in having those conversations free of charge. So we always sit down and sort of go over the concepts of what you own versus what you owe, and how much money you're coming in and how much money you have going out. Those are always the fundamentals to what we look at.
Of course, and in a lot of ways I've seen people really grow their savings, grow their retirement is by minimizing taxes. And that's a very important conversation you have with your clients that a lot of advisors don't.
One of the things that makes us unique is we have a tax department. So our tax department has a CPA, it has an IRS enrolled agent, and we actually do tax preparation work at the office, which really allows us to fine-tune that tax efficiency.
You don't hear that very often in your business, and I think that's huge for your clients. I hope they appreciate the fact that you have that right there in the office to help. It's a huge benefit, because people don't know. They don't know, and they don't want to break the law. We're not breaking the law, of course, but there are things you can do to minimize your taxation. That's more money in your pocket, more money in your investment account.
The tax efficiency is a big part of it, and I think sadly, with some of the issues in Washington, we may very well see those tax rates go up. So you want to be as tax efficient as possible as you think about the future.
How did you get into this business?
I originally was an engineer and then became a lawyer, and ultimately wound up joining the firm when my father-in-law was still alive. I married his daughter, and the rest is history. Came to Orlando in the late 90s. So
you're doing such a good job. Everyone's always raving about you, and when you're getting people raving about you during these tough financial times, you know you're doing something right. You're coaching. It's one of the most important professional relationships that we could ever have is with our financial advisor, because we're talking about the difference in retiring 10 years earlier sometimes, and a comfortability level as well. Joel, always a pleasure to see you, buddy. Nelson Financial Planning. I love these guys. Having that tax department right there really does make all the difference as well. And at the end of the day, they care. They treat it like it's their money. You have spoken, the people have spoken. And People's Choice this week for Best Financial Planning goes to our good friends over at 401 Carat. Arid Chervalotti is here. Fascinating company that you've created. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Explain this 401 Carat. What is this?
So 401 Carat is an evolution of what we do today at Chervalotti Financial, our sister company. So for years we've managed 401ks. We're a retirement plan consulting firm. And we've managed 401ks, and participants in particular have always been looking for advice. So what happened is during the pandemic, people moved on, and no longer do we manage those companies' plans. So as people reached out, our clients reached out to us and asked us if we can help. So we created a solution where for $50 a quarter, we'll give them advice and tell them where to be every quarter.
Wow. It seems like the big financial planning companies only want to deal with the business itself, because that's kind of who controls all the money, but you're helping the individual.
Yeah, my passion is for the participant. Wow. I want people to retire on their own terms and retire with dignity.
Absolutely. So we have a 401k. What can you do? There's been so many job changes over the last couple of years, really a mass exodus of employees. What do they do with their 401k at that point?
So if they can leave it where it is, or they can move it to an IRA. But the thing that we can help them with is we can tell them what spots in the market to be in. Those investments that are available in your 401k, they're just like produce in a grocery store. They rotate in and out of favor. I grew up in the produce business, and all produce is good, but it's just not all in favor at the same time.
And for $50, you said a quarter?
Yeah, the first quarter's free, so you got nothing to lose. And there's no long-term contracts, it's quarter to quarter. Cancel anytime, no credit card required to get started. We just want to show you how we can help you. If the average participant can get 1% better return over their lifetime, it's about an additional $250,000 at retirement.
Unbelievable. So how does it work? How do I get started?
So all you do is go online to 401carrot.com, sign up for your free account, and then show us your investment options that are available. We then put it in our technology, but you got to put human eyes on it. So our staff will run that through our algorithms and tell you what's trending, not timing, but what's trending in the markets.
401ks, I think, are so important to our economy, really to our investment environment, because the generations before me, you had a pension. My generation, we didn't have pensions, and 401k is really the main way for a regular employee to invest, isn't it?
Yeah, but actually, in this country, only 17% of the population was ever covered by a pension.
Is that right?
So today, you're 100% aware, you're 100% responsible for your own retirement. And today, only 50% of companies have a 401k. So we're trying to help people, make it easier for them and less burdensome for companies to have this, but then to offer participants actual professional investment advice for a low fee.
Well, I mean, I think what you're doing is you're empowering individuals right now who generally would be kind of lost, especially when they change a job. They would be lost as to what to do with their 401k. For virtually nothing, you're empowering them, and if they were to go, I guess, hire someone separately at the same time, it would cost a lot more?
Yeah, advisors today aren't going to spend time with someone that's just getting started. And so that's what we want to change. We want them to have access to that advice. 75% of people say they don't have access to a financial advisor. Well, today you do.
What is the minimum I need to have in my 401k to reach out?
Zero. Just getting started. So we're going to provide a basic education to help you understand how it works. And then we're going to provide regular monthly updates on what's happening in the market. So we have a newsletter that we provide with that data.
How does a 401k differ from just a regular investment account?
It's limited in its investment options.
Okay.
That's why we only charge $50, right? If you've only got 10 options available, we'll show you which ones are trending and which ones aren't.
Unbelievable. Well, keep up the good work. I mean, it's a product I haven't heard about before. This is new to me, but anytime that you can really empower the individual to make good decisions, I think you're doing something great for the community.
Well, that's what we're trying to accomplish. So we're trying to go one investor at a time.
Unbelievable. Ed, what a pleasure it was to see you today, buddy. Hope to see you again here soon. Here's what we're going to do. Quick break. When we return, Best of Central Florida continues.
The following Best of Central Florida Justin's Choice is sponsored in part by Oxford Advisory Group and Sophila Radio and Television Productions.
And finally today, it is time for my favorite portion of the program. Not always hard. It's time for Justin's Choice. Justin's Choice today for Best Financial Planner goes to our wonderful friends, the very talented folks over at Oxford Advisory Group, the Dixon brothers.
Yeah.
He's a little bit younger, but bigger.
That's right. That's just nature.
A lot bigger. Is that what it is?
I like to remind them of that. You know?
It's been a weird time, turbulent time, obviously, financially for the last year or so. Coming off a time where it seemed like everyone you talked to was an instant financial genius on this Robinhood or whatever. Yeah. How are you helping your clients now? And you were even telling me before, you're getting so much referral business now because your clients really weathered the storm because of you.
Yeah, well, you know, I would say these are the times that we built our firm for, actually. The turbulent times, that's really when we shine. We feel like we focus on protection, we focus on taxation, and right now, look, that's what everyone's looking for right now.
Absolutely. It's a real family business. Yeah, you're in the big building downtown. Yes. Very professional. Yes. It's also a family atmosphere. And we're dealing with people's money. It's sometimes the most important part of their life, certainly their retirement. You know? And so how have you taken this family atmosphere, but yet sort of the downtown building and merged those two things together?
You know, I think we see every client as a family member.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Chris are very close. We live in the same neighborhood, like a street over. So we take that, you know, our kids are the same age, so we take that same approach with clients. Is we don't just focus on the investment part. We do a lot of planning. You know, I'm planning ahead, not just on their financial health, but on their physical health, and we're incorporating everything in there. You know?
Yeah, I'm dying to hear your story. How did we get to this point? How did you develop such a great organization as brothers? How did this happen?
You know, I think at the beginning, we're entrepreneurs, right? So we're focused on process, we're focused on details, and what we wanted to take approach that we wanted to focus on the small things, the details of people's lives. Because, you know, when you're out there in the consumer marketplace, and if anyone really takes care of you nowadays, you notice it, right? And you remember it. And that's what we wanted, because it is a rarity these days.
Who do you help? Who's calling you? Who should call you?
So it'll be mainly retirees, right? We tend to focus on retirement because it's so complex. There's a lot of different challenges that you face in retirement that you didn't when you were working just stacking in a 401k. So we focus on retirees, and we focus even more specifically on taxation.
What makes you different? There are a bunch of financial shops out there. You guys are different. What makes you different?
Yeah, we don't just look at what you did last year. We're looking at what are you going to do in the future? How do we plan ahead and avoid some of the mistakes that we see people make every year? I know we get the chance to sit down with hundreds and hundreds of people a year, right? We want to know, how can we prevent those mistakes from happening? So I think it's the planning aspect, and especially in taxes. That's kind of our bread and butter as well.
And very important when it comes to retirement planning. Obviously, the less taxes you can pay, the more you're going to have at retirement. What separates you think, from the, let's call them the big box stores? You're different.
Yeah.
What makes you different?
You know, like I said, the details. So what we do is we're planners. Whereas most people at the big boxes, like you said, they just have accounts, right? They may manage your account. We focus on plans. We have a number of different plans. Our clients are with us usually forever. And we're focused on, we go and we plan out all the way down to the very month of every single year with taxes, Social Security, income streams, investments, healthcare, legacy planning, right? We're a one-stop shop.
No better sign than clients staying forever, especially in your line of work when things go up and down, when you have clients that stay forever. That says it all, I think.
Exactly.
Christopher, Sam, nice to meet you guys. Keep up the good work. Everyone is raving about you, like raving. No wonder they stay with you that long. Great job. Good to see you guys.
Absolutely.
Do yourself a favor. Oxford Advisory Group. They are fantastic. Makaila.
Justin.
It was a great show.
It was.
I think we learned a lot, but this is important when it comes to money. Yes, family's important, but when you talk about money, your retirement, who you choose as your financial advisor is really probably the most important thing.
Yeah, you have to trust them for sure.
Excellent job, as always, Makaila Nichols.
Thanks.
Special thanks to our WKMG-based crew, as always. They're fantastic.
They're the best.
Fell up on, and the whole crew, they are fantastic. Most importantly, thank you for joining us here every weekend for Best of Central Florida. We'll see you again next week.
The preceding Best of Central Florida program was sponsored in part by Fortress Wealth Group, the Injury Assistance Law Firm, Nelson Financial Planning, 401 Carat, Oxford Advisory Group, and Sophila Radio and Television Productions.